How are we doing, everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Joined today by my wife Anna.
Hostess with the mostess.
We've been doing some videos recently where you've kind of, in the lockdown situation, decided to try and play golf.
Yeah.
And you've had 5 lessons, I think.
Yeah.
So we've kind of discussed all of the clubs that would potentially be in the bag. If you were to get into golf, eventually you'd need some golf clubs.
I'm definitely going to get into it. I'm definitely into it.
Good. I think people will be pleased to hear that.
Are you into me?
Massively. Massively. So you have to get golf clubs moving forward. But I've never shared what's in my bag. And what's in my bag is a popular YouTube theme because people are intrigued to see what's in the bag of the pro that they're watching the content.
I understand, I get it. And the bag itself, or?
Not so much the bag in my case.
It's tiny.
And probably not so much the clubs in my case. The reason why, to clarify, is that a big proportion of YouTube stuff is club equipment reviews. So there's some YouTube channels out there that do a really good job of getting the latest equipment, reviewing it,
testing it.
And that's basically what their channel is orientated about.
Okay.
So people are quite intrigued to see what they end up choosing. Obviously mine's a golf coaching channel, very little equipment stuff. So whether people are overly interested, we'll kind of see how we get on.
Okay.
First of all, what I am using, do you want to have a look at some of these whilst I chat about what they are? Do you think they're nice looking?
Oh, beautiful.
Don't you think they're nice?
No, I don't. Well, I don't. I mean, yeah, they're shiny.
Shiny.
I mean, to you, what's nice looking?
I think they're traditional, classic looking clubs. Wilson Staff model irons. The composition is from 4 to pitching wedge. I like the look of them. They're forged. They're a nice feel club. Got KBS Tour in these, which is about 110 grams in terms of weight, which is possibly a little bit lighter than what most professional golfers use, just as a preference thing mainly. 1 inch longer, standard lie. That's just for golfers that would be intrigued in terms of what I'm doing. Golf Pride Tour Velvet grips, plus 2 layers on each, which basically means how thick that is, the grip. Okay.
And you love these?
I love, yeah, I do actually. There's a few bits in here that would probably change, but these I do love. I love the look of them and the feel of them. So I paid for these, obviously, like I said. I got them through Phil at Club Class Golf, who's based at Four Ashes. I ordered them as loose components and Phil basically ordered the shafts in. How much do you reckon?
Each?
Well, do each and then we can times it by 7 because that's how many irons I would have had if I could find them all.
So, 100?
Per iron.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a bad guess actually.
How much are they?
I'm surprised you went that high. Most people tend to think, golf's quite expensive.
I know golf clubs because everyone goes on about it.
How expensive they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon retail, you're probably right. About 100 per iron. I got about half. So I paid all in all just over £400 for everything. On new level wedges. Okay, why new level wedges? For those people that would be interested, I quite like trying to have stuff that everybody's got. Do you know what I mean? So I quite like trying to source different sort of bits basically. So they're quite popular. There'll be a lot of people that have got those, but when it comes to wedges, there'll be less people that are familiar with the brand or even own these. So wedges are generally a softer material in the head, yeah, because you want as much feel around it. Kind of satin in terms of the finish, so it's kind of, a people's street in terms of that. Dynamic gold S400 black shaft. Okay, and the reason why you'd go black is just for a little bit of a contrast between the difference between the head and the shaft. And then a Golf Pride 360 grip. So, gonna go cheaper.
I don't know why, but yeah, I would say 75.
Okay. Yeah, double it, I think, at least. Recommended retail.
These are more expensive.
Yeah, so the reason why you'd be paying more is because it's basically more of a forging process goes into the head. And I'm not the most techie person to go into it, but they are more expensive per club than my irons in particular. These would be, I would guess, around about the £200 retail. I think I paid about 300 for all of them. Move on to this one. This is a utility club. Okay, so you can see the way it's a little bit of a bigger profile than the 4-iron that we've used before. Yes. Yeah, so that's well, this is extra distance again. Okay. So see the kind of difference in the set. 12U forged head, same shaft as in my irons, again, thanks to Phil putting that in.
150 50.
Okay, so that would probably be fair. To be honest with you, George gave me that as a gift.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Thanks,
a little
George.
bit of a, cheers, George. You're not having it back. It's been really shafted. Same grip again, Golf Pride Tour Velvet. Some of the clubs, which it's worth talking about now, irons, you can't, there's only so much technology involved really. Do you know what I mean? Like there's only so much they can do with that type of club, right? And it's the same with what we're talking about now. So what tends to happen is that every sort of potentially 5 years, there seems to be like a massive involved point in technology, right? So if we look back 5 years ago at some of the drivers in the woods, they were pretty naff, but then they struggle for a bit. So the reason why this is not the most current variation that you can get, but I can't justify buying something when it performs the same. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what's basically known as a fairway wood. So this would be the longest club that you would ever hit off the floor. So you can see the way it's still quite shallow in terms of its design.
Key, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the head is so deep on that, you would never get it in the air. So this is a Titleist Tier S3. I've got it set up as it's a 16.5 degree set up as A1 with a Project X C12 tip stiff 6.0, 66 gram. I mean, again, Phil is somebody who helps me out massively with messing around with shafts that go into clubs and stuff. So I like that. How much do you think?
It's going to be more than those, definitely, I reckon. 300.
It's not a bad guess again.
God,
so again, I mean, retail would probably be, I think, around about that sort of price. I bought the head brand new off eBay for about the £140 mark, and then with the shaft put in there as well, we were probably close to the 250 sort of mad. One that you love.
I do love this one.
So,
this is definitely my favourite.
Yeah, so that is a Epic Flash.
And I know this is it. Probably the most expensive one.
This is seriously start to get expensive now.
You didn't tell me how much it was, but I do know it's definitely more.
So Epic Flash, thank you darling. So Epic Flash, which is last year's model, so that's my point. I didn't go for this year's model. Thank you darling, can you make me another one? So I didn't go for this year's model, mainly just due to cost, plus again the idea of being slightly different. Sourced this again through Phil, one of Phil's contacts. Craig, massively appreciate it. Double diamond head, it's basically a tour head. The shaft would be the similar cost of the head. So do you want to have a guess in terms of what roughly the retail? More than
all of them.
Yeah.
Retail 500.
Yeah, I reckon originally putting this composition together would have been closer to the £700-800 mark.
Okay.
So the head would have been about 4 and the shaft would have been about 3 to 4. I paid half of that. So for me, I've paid about 400 for that, but it's a good one.
I like
it. I like it a lot.
Really,
so Ventus stiff shaft in that, but again, being more of a proper stiff, it's just a good club. It's a nice solid hit. And that's what I'm saying, it's last year's model head, but I can't justify, do you know what I mean? Not much has happened in the last year in terms of club head design. Okay, last one. This, you actually like this as well, don't you?
I do.
Quick story as to where this came from. I was teaching a lad, or still technically do, but he had this in his bag, and I wanted to do a video on it. The comparison between that and a normal putter, fell in love with it. Right.
Do a lot of people like this sword? Do they like
it's kind of like a bit of a, not controversial. There used to be something called belly putters, which basically was when the shaft of the golf club stuck in the actual belly button. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, stability shaft in here. Okay, so slightly unique again in terms of the shaft. It's a Study in Kinematics putter.
What does that mean?
It's just a brand of putter, which basically it's milled. It's supposed to be designed in such a way that it's forgiving for off-centre hits. Loads of the science goes into this. It's a popular putter which is used by DeChambeau as well. Lots of tour pros using this. I like it, kind of fell in love with it. To be fair, I haven't had the chance to use it on the golf course yet, so I might change my mind.
50.
Not a bad guess. Double it.
11. Jeez, 1,000. Nearly 1,000.
It's kind of £800 retail, £800 to £900 retail. I paid about half that, so I paid about £300.
God, can I have your mate?
Pounds. £300 to £350 I paid from memory. Like I said, I actually haven't been out on the golf course with it. I quite like it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Always appreciate a thumbs up and a like. Remember, it's absolutely free
if you like it.
Press the. Thank you very much. What do you think they won't?
No, some people are.
Oh, great. Bit of positivity on the channel. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. It's free to subscribe. You're back on it. Your next lesson's coming up on the channel very, very soon. And then you'll be doing this.
Yeah, no.
We'll be doing what's in your bag.
Yeah, well, look
That's
forward
it.
to it.
Catch you with you soon.